everybody, my name is Megan and today we are going to be talking about how to set up a Google forwarding number. This is part of a mini series which we are currently doing where we teach you the different ways in which you can track calls from your Google Ads campaigns. So before we show you how to set up a Google forwarding number, let's just talk a little bit about how a Google forwarding number actually works. So a Google forwarding number is a dynamic number which is assigned to a specific ad click. So when a user reaches your website after they've clicked on your ad, they will be shown a dynamic number instead of your usual business number. Once a user then makes a call using this specific number, Google will then pull in additional data on the call itself. You will then be able to see the length of the call, whether or not the call was missed or received, the phone number which made the call, and the specific keyword or ad group that the call originated from. This method of call tracking is a lot more accurate than other types of call tracking, as you'll be able to see the exact data on the call and you will then be able to gauge whether or not the lead was of a good quality. So today I'm going to be setting up a Google forwarding number for this website here. As you can see, there are two different numbers on this website. You can, however, only have a Google forwarding number on one of these. So the one that we're going to focus on today is the 01245 number, and I will then in another video show you how to set up a number click on this other number here. But this is the main number which we want to collect as much information on the calls as possible. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to set up the conversion in Google Ads. So if you open up your Google Ads account, you want to go to Tools and Settings and you want to head over to the conversion section of the account. And then you just want to hit New Conversion Action here. And as it's going to be a phone number tracking, we just want to click Phone Calls here, and it's from the website, so you just select calls to a phone number on your website. So now we're going to be asked all this information, which is just going to make sure that we're counting the conversions how we want to count them. So first things first, I'm just going to give it a name that's quite obvious as to what it is. So I'm just going to go call from. So for this client here, we are not going to assign a value to this conversion. If you're in a business where if someone does pick up the phone and it does lead to either a purchase or something that's guaranteed to bring in you money, then you can of course assign a value to the conversion. But for this particular client, it's not something that we would recommend. And we're going to keep the count to 1. If you select if one user makes 3 separate phone calls, each one of them individual phone calls will be counted as a conversion, even if it is only one inquiry. So we just stick with 1, as that way we're not going to see inflated data and it just makes it a little bit more accurate. So for phone numbers, this is where we are going to specify which number we want the Google forwarding number to fire on. So as mentioned before, we're going to stick with this 01245 number. So I'm just going to copy it and I'm just going to paste it in this box. And I'm just going to say that it's from the United Kingdom. In this box here, you can put the number in any format. It's just easier just to copy and paste it directly from the site. And then in the display number, it has to be displayed exactly the same as it is on the website. This means that if you do have the phone number in other places on the website and it's not displayed exactly the same way as you put in this box here, not every call is going to be counted and the Google forwarding number isn't going to work on them. So you just want to make sure that when you set this up, that the number that you want to dynamically change is displayed exactly the same throughout the whole website. Next, we want to specify the call length. This is completely up to you. We tend to stick quite low, so I'm going to go for 5 seconds. The reason we suggest starting quite low is because, for example, if someone was to make a call and the line was to cut off, you wouldn't see the call as a conversion unless it exceeds the number which you specify here. If you then call the number back once the line's been cut off, that information there doesn't get attributed back into Google Ads, which may mean you're missing out on conversion data. If you do want to make sure that the phone calls are of a more significant length before they're being counted as conversions, just to make sure that you are only tracking high quality leads, you can set this to a time that works best for you. So for example, it might be a good idea to set it at a time which it would take you to get the significant information off an inquiry. But for this client here, we are going to stick with 5 seconds. And we're just going to keep the click-through conversion window and the attribution the same. So once you're happy with all the settings here, you just want to click create and continue. And now it is going to give you some different options on how you can implement this tag onto the website. Today, we're going to be showing you using Google Tag Manager. So you need to make sure that you've got Google Tag Manager open and that the Google Tag Manager code is correctly firing on the website. So now we've selected that we're using Google Tag Manager, we've been greeted with some additional information. This needs to be relayed into Google Tag Manager to make sure that the Google forwarding number fires correctly. Here, we're now going to navigate to the client's Google Tag Manager account, and you just want to create a new tag. Just like in Google Ads, you want to name it something that is quite obvious as to what the tag is. And for the tag configuration, it is a Google Ads conversion and it is a Google Ads call from website conversion. So after you've selected the tag configuration, it's now going to ask you for the displayed phone number which you want to replace. I already have this pasted, but this is just how the number is displayed on the website. And then it's going to ask for the conversion ID and the conversion label. Both of these are the information that's been provided here. So I'm just going to copy the conversion ID and pop it in the conversion ID box, and the conversion label, and pop that in the conversion label box. And we want to fire this on all pages, so I'm just going to hit save. So now if we navigate to tags, we will see that the call from website tag is now here. Currently I haven't published it because there is one other thing which needs to be implemented through Tag Manager for this to work. It does mention it briefly in the instructions here, but we just need to make sure that the conversion linker tag is also firing. So to set this up, you need to go to new and just call it conversion linker. And then if we click tag configuration, it has its own little feature here. And then you just want to ensure that it is enabled to link on all page URLs and, as before, all pages. So I'm just going to save this. And now we've done everything that we need to do in Google Tag Manager, we can submit the changes. So I'm just going to hit publish. So now we've published it, we just want to double check that it is firing correctly. And to do this, we are going to use preview mode. So if you just hit preview, it will then ask you for the website, which is already here, but you can just copy and paste it in, and then you just want to hit connect. This is then going to open the website in debug mode. So as it's just a tag which fires in the background, we don't actually need to do anything on the site to see whether or not it's working. But if we click back into the tag assistant tab, we can see that tag's fired and the call from website has fired as well. This now means that going forward, we should start to see more accurate data come from the calls from this particular website. This is the method of call tracking that we tend to suggest, just because it is a lot more accurate and it does give you that in-depth information to make more considered optimizations. However, in our next video, we are going to be showing you how to create events in Google Analytics 4 for users who click on other phone numbers on the website and make calls that way. If you do want to know how to create click-to-call events in Google Analytics 4, check out our next video on how to set this up.